You know that person, the one who walks into a disaster, a leaking pipe, a dead car battery, a full-blown emotional meltdown, and doesn't panic. They just go quiet for a second, think, and then start doing something about it. And you're standing there wondering what's wrong with you that your first instinct was to cry. Here's the part that's going to surprise you. It's not experience. Some of the calmest fixers you know have solved this exact problem for the very first time. And once you understand what's actually happening in their head, you'll never look at that person, or maybe yourself, the same way again. Because here's the twist, most people never find out. There are two completely different psychological reasons someone becomes the fixer. One of them is healthy, one of them isn't. And from the outside, they look identical. Today we're pulling them apart. Go back to childhood for a second. Somewhere along the way, most fixers had a moment, small, forgettable to everyone else, where something broke and they were the one who made it work again. A wobbly chair, a jammed drawer, a parent falling apart, and them being the one who kept it together. That moment does something. It quietly rewires a kid's relationship to problems. The world stops being something that just happens to them. It becomes something they can reach into and change. But here's the detail that matters more than the moment itself: why they were the one reaching in. For some kids, fixing things wasn't a hobby. It was survival. Psychologists have a term for this: contingent self-worth. It means your sense of being okay, being loved, being allowed to exist comfortably in a room gets tied to a condition. And for a lot of fixers, that condition was usefulness. If you were the one who solved it, you were safe. If you stood there helpless, something worse happened. You got overlooked, or blamed, or quietly reminded you were a burden. So, the nervous system made a decision, long before the person was old enough to notice it happening. I will never be helpless again. That's not confidence, that's armor. And you can spot it with one simple test. Ask this kind of fixer to step back and let someone else handle something. Watch what happens. They can't sit still. They hover. They offer suggestions nobody asked for. Because an unsolved problem sitting in the room doesn't just feel inconvenient to them. It feels dangerous. Now, here's the other kind. The one worth paying attention to. This person doesn't fix things because they're scared of what happens if they don't. They fix things because broken things genuinely fascinate them. There's a concept for this too: epistemic curiosity. It's the specific pleasure of closing a gap in your understanding, not the reward at the end, the figuring out itself. This is the person who fixes something, then takes it apart again just to understand why it worked. Who explains what went wrong in more detail than anyone asked for. Lit up the whole time, like they just discovered something beautiful. Ask this fixer to step back and let someone else handle it. They shrug, mildly curious how it turns out. Totally fine either way. Same outward skill as the first person. Completely different engine underneath. So, here's the twist. The version of fixing everything that looks like strength from the outside is sometimes the loudest sign someone never felt safe being anything less than useful. And the version that looks almost too relaxed, too casual about outcomes, is often the person who feels the most secure, because their worth was never on the line to begin with. If you just recognized yourself in the first version, the one who can't sit still while something stays broken, I want to say this clearly. That's not a character flaw. That's a history. Somewhere, being useful was how you earned safety. And a pattern that was built can be rebuilt. It starts small. Let one thing stay unfixed today. Sit in the discomfort of that for 60 seconds. Notice that nothing bad actually happens. That's the whole exercise. It's not dramatic. It just quietly proves the old rule wrong, one small unfixed thing at a time. So next time you watch someone walk calmly into chaos and just start solving it, don't assume it's confidence. Ask which fixer you're actually looking at. The one who's terrified of being helpless, or the one who simply fell in love with the puzzle. And if it's you standing frozen instead, that's not a flaw either. That's just a version of you who hasn't had the small win yet. It's coming. Which fixer are you? The one who's scared or the one who's curious? Tell me below.